Hey, what is up, you sexy beast? GhostSickness Tristan here, and today I'm bringing you kind of in a different video. I've never made a video like this before because this has never happened to me before. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this is a complainentary. So if you don't want to hear me bitch for the next however many minutes, then you'll want to click off of this video right now. If I had made this video on Monday, it would have been kind of a lot more upsetting and stuff like that. I've had time to really think about it and evaluate it and come to terms with it and stuff like that. So making it today is still relevant, but it's not like I'm super upset. It's not like the old McDonald's rants that I used to make. If you guys have been with my channel that long, man, back when I worked there, holy shit, was that such a terrible job. If you guys don't know, I currently work at Best Buy. I've worked there for about 2.5 years now. Before then, I worked with McDonald's and I worked with them for 4 years. I'm looking at getting another job, right? And there's a couple reasons why I'm looking at getting another job, and once I do, I'll kind of explain kind of why I left Best Buy. The main reasons I want to leave Best Buy are I'm just bored, right? We just don't get enough foot traffic, and I thought transferring to this store up in the Seattle area, we'd be busier, but at the particular store that I'm at, we're not, because I'm not actually in Seattle, so that really sucks, right? I thought it'd be a lot busier, and so I would much rather, so if you guys don't know, I'm an AT&T mobile expert at Best Buy, and I would much rather be just activating phones all day, every day, than fucking walking around, throwing my lanyard, like my keys, and catching them, you know, looking for customers to sell stuff to, you know, just, I'm fucking bored, right? And then I also used to be in a really good store back in Bend, Oregon, and we would bonus almost every month, pretty much every month. You would always get, you know, more than just your base pay, right? And so I did get a very slight raise, and I mean 6 cents moving to this store in terms of a pay raise, right? But we don't bonus anymore, right? I've only bonused once since we moved here, and I've been here for several months now, and it's just like, and it was one of those bonuses where it wasn't even the store bonusing, it was just me personally, me and the other AT&T expert, right? It was a really small bonus, but again, anything's better than nothing. So, but long story short, I used to make several $1,000s more a year doing the same exact job earlier this year at my old store than at the current store that I'm at, because it's like, it's a losing store, right? Like we're not hitting quotas, we're not hitting goals, like it's just not happening at our store because it's just not, I don't know. And so there's only so much that I can do as an individual, because the bonuses are based on team performance. They're not based on, you know, individual performance. They're based on kind of the store as a whole, right? That's really demotivating, and the fact that we're just not busy enough, so I'm fucking bored for 8 to 9 hours a day, 5 days a week. You know, I'm literally doing nothing, and I would just much rather be selling stuff, and, you know, we don't get commission at Best Buy, so me selling stuff doesn't really motivate me to do anything, right? Like I always hit numbers, and I always have, but it's just like, because we have like quotas and shit, right? Just, I'm fucking bored, man, and it's just not paying enough. And I did take a pay raise coming to this store, transferring from Best Buy, and I plan on being out of Best Buy around this time anyway, right before the new year started, and that's the plan. So long story short, one of my coworkers' husbands works for Comcast, and so I was like, all right, dude, like, let's fucking go. And so I was we went over kind of the job title and stuff like that, and I ended up applying, name dropping him, all this stuff. Now, if you guys don't know, I am 20 years old. I have an associate's degree in business. I have 6.5 years consecutive work experience, right? And I'll kind of weigh more on this later, but again, it's pretty solid, right? I've been working since I was 14, and so I moved up to management at McDonald's, and I moved up, this is my 3rd position at Best Buy, right? Because I started at part-time, and then I got promoted to full-time in a different department. Now I'm AT&T, right? Which is even above that. I'm knowledgeable, right? Like I'm pretty fucking qualified. So I was like, oh, dude, I can totally nail this Comcast job. One of my coworkers got it, right? He just left. He was working in the mobile department with me, but keep in mind, he's 24, right? So it's like, okay, you know, he's definitely got some years on me, and he definitely has more experience, and he also has call center experience. So this was a call center job, right? And what it was we'd basically take inbound calls from new customers and existing customers, and we would get paid commission for selling them products and services from Comcast companies, right? Because they offer internet, TV, home security, all that shit, right? They offer pretty much everything that AT&T does, and AT&T offers a lot of these services as well, which is why I'd be like, dude, I'm a fucking perfect candidate for this. I already do this shit inside of Best Buy. They had several different processes for this entire job, right? So you first had to apply, right? So that's step number 1, so fucking easy, right? Step number 2 is if you know, if you're qualified, then you got a phone interview. Okay, so cool, got the phone interview, nailed the phone interview. And then step number 3 is actually send you kind of an exam thing, whereas you take it online, you know, to see if you can actually are competent enough to do the actual job, and then you take a personality test as well, right? So fucking nailed that as well. So that's step 3. And then step number 4 is the actual in-person interview. And then there's 2 in-person interviews. So there's, so I passed that, right? I passed the exam, all that shit, passed the phone interview with flying colors, got the 2 in-person interviews, right? So basically, it was weird because they did interviews in bulk. So this was 2 weeks ago. And I went in and I was like, hell yeah, dude, I'm dressed super nice. Like, I look damn good. Like, I am ready to get this job. Actually, no, it wasn't 2 fucking weeks ago. It was last week. Dead ass, dog. Anyway, so I went in and I'm dressed nicely and I go to this in-person interview. And if you guys don't know, if you're doing an interview, then the entire process from start to finish, the second you walk in that door until the moment you leave, is a part of the interview, right? So definitely don't be like on your phone or doing shit like that or being mean to like the front desk people, because they'll just be like, yo, this guy's a fucking douchebag. Do not hire this motherfucker, you know? And so I was just like, all right, you know, I was perfectly, like, I was poised and I was nice. I was ready. I was, you know, completely upbeat and energetic, wasn't on my phone, and I was nice to everybody and all this shit, right? So I get the first in-person interview and it goes super well. Like, this guy had been like a manager for AT&T at their store, and he transferred over to Comcast as a manager, you know. And I was just like going over all this stuff, and I nailed all the questions, and we talked and we vibed really well. And the interview lasted like, it was 5 questions and it lasted like 45 minutes. Like, it was, we just talked and like hung out, and it was really great. And I was like, oh dude, fuck yeah. I was feeling so amped and so ready. And then I meet this lady, and like, she asked me a couple questions, which I felt like I answered pretty well, but maybe not as well as I should have. Like, I don't know if it was exactly the answer she was looking for. And some of them I was like, God damn it, I should have answered that with something way shorter, you know, instead of going on this crazy long story. Because as you guys know, I talk a lot and I, you know, give every detail. And so when they're asking me these questions, I just like explain everything. And they're like, they can only write down so much. Goddamn, Tristan, shut up. Felt really good about it. Even the interview with her at the very end of it, right? It felt great. And then I got walked out by one of the supervisors, you know. So basically, if you don't get the second in-person interview when you're physically there, right? So you interview with like a supervisor, and then you interview with like the GM or whatever the fuck she was like, I don't know, the hiring manager, or someone even higher than him. So I interviewed with both of them, and like I said, crushed it. And then I'm just like, I'm waiting to hear back from him, right? So, you know, that interview was last Tuesday. And then on Monday, I was like kind of getting antsy. I'm like, I haven't heard anything, nothing like that. I checked the status of my application online, hadn't updated it all. It just said, we're excited to hear from you, you know, from, you know, before the interview. And so I'm just like, well, you know, whatever. So I call and I ask my recruiter kind of what's going on. And she's like, I don't know yet. I haven't heard anything back, you know, but they'll send you an email or whatever when they get back to you. And so right when I was on the phone call, I found out that my roommate had actually gotten the job, right? So he works at Best Buy with me for now, but he had gotten the job offer that morning. I'm just like, motherfucker, dude. And I was really excited, too, because I was like, man, if he got the job offer and he didn't feel that great about the interview, then I got the job, right? Easy. And so I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. And then I was just at work at around noon, and I checked my email, and it was like, thank you for your application, but yeah, you got turned the fuck down, dog. Like, we're going with someone more qualified than you. I'm just like, God fucking damn it, dude. It legit ruined my whole day. I was so upset. I was like, I was so amped to get this job because, all right, so it's the beginning of December, right? So I have my birthday next week. That's super exciting. And then Christmas is coming up and New Year's is coming up. And as you guys know, I moved several hundred miles away from most of my friends and family, and I miss them a lot, obviously. You know, I want to go visit Bend really bad, and I miss them a lot, right? So my game plan was this. This is one of the main reasons I'm upset that I didn't get this job offer, because again, it basically pays a little bit less per hour than I make right now, but really, really good commission. So I'd be making like $45,000 to $60,000 a year or something like that. Whereas right now I used to make like $36,000 to $38,000 just at Best Buy alone. And now I got kind of downgraded to like $31,000, just kind of like my base salary, because I don't really get bonuses anymore, let's be real, because the store just doesn't fucking perform. So anyway, I took like a $7,000 pay cut, right? And I just want to go back and, you know, work up and earn more money than I'm making right now. And again, the job isn't super high end. I'm not applying for like a management position or anything like that. And so when I got that email, I was just like, God damn it, because everything I did, I excelled at, right? I was like, dude, the phone interview was great. The exam went great. The 2 in-person interviews went great. Like, I couldn't have answered those questions any better. You know what I mean? I just felt so confident leaving there, I felt great. And like I said, I vibed with that guy for like 45 minutes, and I talked to the other lady for like a half hour. And it felt really, really good. And I was like, dude, I definitely have this job in the bag. And the other main thing is I'd never gotten this far in a job, not gotten the job, right? So with every other interview I've ever had in my entire life, right? So McDonald's got the job, Best Buy got the job on the first try. You know, when I actually got the interview, right? I've gotten denied for plenty of jobs, but I never had gotten the in-person interview, right? Or even the phone interview. So I never really had my chance to like get my foot in the door. And anytime I did, I showed them that I was qualified and competent and stuff like that to do the job. Getting this far with Comcast, doing like all 5 steps, I was like, dude, I fucking got it. Like, I've never gotten this far and gotten denied. And so, well, you know, there's the first fucking time for everything. I've taken the last couple days to kind of think about it, because again, I'm upset, right? I'm upset because I could have put in my 2 weeks in a couple days here, and then had my last day been like Christmas Eve, and then visit my family over Christmas and New Year's, right? That's something I really wanted to do. I was looking forward to it because the job starts on January 8th, so it doesn't start until next year. But again, I could use the rest of my paid time off, you know, work out my last 2 weeks, and then just not work at Best Buy, and then go into the new year with a new job, right? It was perfect, dude. The timing and everything like that. I was already planning around it and stuff like that, because I just felt so good. I felt so competent. And again, you know, it never helps to get your hopes up, but I'm a very confident guy. I'm a very optimistic guy, right? So I wanted to get it, and I thought that I got it. And you know, it's okay. It happens, right? You don't win everything. You don't succeed every time, right? And that's okay. And again, I'd never been through this, so it was kind of just like, God damn it, you know. But there's a first time for everything. Like, it had to happen someday, right? The reign of Tristan, the reign of awesomeness had to end eventually. And I mean, by that, I just mean passing interviews on the first try, right? Because like I said, I've applied for many jobs and just gotten instantly denied, or never ever gotten the in-person interview, right? And I feel like I'm really qualified for this job, but one of the main things that they emphasized was that they're really wanting people who do like call center experience. And I'm just like, okay, well, you know, I can easily transition. I make YouTube videos, you know, it's kind of something I said in my interview, but I talk to you guys, you know, for hours a day sometimes when I live stream. And I interact with you guys through YouTube, as well as Twitter and stuff like that, right? And like I said, live streaming. So it's like, it would be a perfect transition. I already do this as kind of like a sit down thing. It just wasn't enough. And so what I think, so the email said that they went with someone or people, because I don't know if I told you guys, but it was a group interview, right? So there was like a dozen other people there with me, and all of which were like 25 to 30 years old. So, right, I'm like the youngest looking kid in there, and I'm just like, oof, you know? But like I said, I got qualifications. I have a degree, 6 years concurrent work experience and stuff like that, right? So it looks really good. But again, they're looking for, you know, more qualified salespeople. And then mainly, they emphasize this a lot. And I didn't have an answer for it, because I hadn't had any call center experience, right? They really want people who have call center experience so that they transition more easily. And it's like, dude, I am more than capable of doing this job. And they know that, right? Or else I wouldn't have gotten this far. I wouldn't have gotten both in-person interviews, the phone interview, all this shit, right? Taking the exam. I would have just kind of gotten instant denied if they're like, yeah, dude, this guy doesn't have sales experience, you know, whatever. He's really not qualified. But I honestly think, and like I said, I've come to terms with this, and I've kind of thought about it recently. It's not that I'm not qualified for the job. I definitely am. But what would you rather have if you're an employer? Would you rather have someone who has like 4 years of sales experience, or 1 year of sales experience, or 2.5 years of sales experience, right? Or, you know, 6 years work experience and maybe a bachelor's and maybe a master's or something like that, right? Like, there are people in that room, I know this for a fact, that are more qualified and had more experience than I do, right? And it doesn't mean that I couldn't do the job. It just means that from a, you know, a purely, you know, business standpoint, is that who would you rather have, right? Let's say we interviewed the exact same. I would rather take the person with more experience. Like, it just makes sense, especially if they had like call center experience and stuff like that. But again, it doesn't make it suck any less. I've just kind of come to terms with it, because I was pretty upset on Monday. I was pretty livid because I just didn't see why. I'm just like, God damn it. And the thing is, I realized this on the drive home today, is that I nailed everything controllable, right? Like I said, all the exams and the interviews and stuff like that, I could not have done better in that regard, right? But the main thing is, and it's a harsh reality of life, is there are things that I cannot control, such as the other applicants. So maybe they choose a strict amount of people because they hire in bulk, right? So maybe they choose, because you got to go through like a 5-week training period. So maybe they only choose like a couple people per interview batch of like a dozen, because obviously they can't hire everybody. So it's like, maybe they choose 3 people out of every dozen that apply every single week, because they do several weeks of interviews, because they're trying to fill, I don't know, 10 to 25 positions. I'm not exactly sure. It's a big ass call center, right? So let's say I was like number 4 on the list, right? Maybe I was super, super close because I definitely out-interviewed some of the people there. And even others came into the interview late. So when they were late, it's like, dude, you're not going to get the job. Like they say to be here 15 minutes early to the interview and you were literally late to the interview. It's like they're not going to hire you because, you know, job punctuality and stuff like that, being on time is very, very important. And it's not like I wasn't qualified for the job. I just didn't get it in this round of candidates because there were people more qualified than me, and I accept that, and I come to terms with that. But again, I'll be looking for employment elsewhere. I applied at an actual AT&T store. I really hope I get it because I do AT&T mobile sales right now, and I have for a little bit over a year. So guys, I hope that helps you. Just remember key takeaways from this video. There are always people out there more qualified than you, and there are always people out there less qualified than you. So you just got to prove to them that you're good enough. And again, you're on an interview basically from the second you walk in the door until the second you leave. So don't be a goof, right? Don't be a fucking noob. Don't be a, you know. Anyway, so I really hope you guys enjoy this video. Stay sexy, you beasts. I'm GhostSickness. I fucking love you guys, and I'm out.